Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. So today I decided I wanted to make a card for our veterinarian. So it's a little thank you card, and I used the frame light drop-ins by Stephanie Barnyard 660143 to create the border there that said thank you on it. I tried different papers and I liked that one in particular because of the little small flowers in a neutral color. It was just some scrap paper that I had. So I have the girl stamps that I love from Santoro. I love these stamps. I've stamped her before, so I used her again. And the little dog came from a magazine stamp collection. So here I'm just using my Copic markers, my alcohol-based markers, and the Ohu markers. I used Memento ink to stamp them, and you know, I'm not really proficient in marker coloring, so I wanted to try my hand at it today, because my whole goal for this whole year is to try new things, right, and to do new things. So I'm like, let me just do some marker coloring. Now I did use marker paper to make sure that the markers you know, worked really well with the paper. And the pencils are Faber-Castell, the Polychromos pencils that I'm using to kind of help with a little bit of detail. So then I get the joy of trying to figure out, what am I going to dress her in? What colors, because I wanted it to complement that neutral tanny color of the border, right? So I'm checking out the colors that I have for skin tone right now, and I end up going with the YR4 from the Ohu markers and the BR3 to do kind of like the shadowing and everything. This color is a little orangey. I wish the one color that I normally use it was dried up, so I ended up having to use this color. So in the end, I think she looks okay, but just a little bit of orange tinge. Now I will say that I also am going to do watercoloring the same stamps because I wanted to see which one I liked the best as far as putting it on the card. Again, my whole goal this year is just to try some new things and to broaden my horizon and get out of my comfort zone on the things that I normally do. So I'm just layering the colors here. I used the cream color for her hair and then the brown color that came from the Copics, just to kind of layer colors so it wouldn't be just flat, just one color. And they blend beautifully. I would put the light color on, then I'd put a little bit darker color on, and then I would go back with the lighter color to kind of just blend it all together. And then, as you saw, I use a pencil to kind of even blend it even more together. So here I'm deciding what colors do I want to use for her dress. And there's the blue colors in the Copic set that I love. These Copic sets, I got them from Michael's and I used a coupon, you know, to get them pretty cheap. And but what I like about them is they've got the lighter color and the darker color to help you to know which ones to use together. It's kind of like they're giving you a helping hand there. So those two blues go together, the greens go together, the oranges go together, you know. So in the end, I end up choosing to go with the blue because I do have a blue in the Ohu marker that's a little bit darker. And so with those three colors, I have my light color, my mid-tone color, and then my dark color. So I just go along and just color my little girl again using the lighter color first, and then I go and I use the mid-tone color to kind of go in the little circles into where the bottom of the skirt. So that way, you know, you have dimension. And then I use the darkest color to go back in and just give even more dimension, like put a little bit of borders around those circles and the hearts and around the skirt bottom so that it, you know, looks like there's really pleats there. And I just love the way that it ended up looking. I was, you know, pretty happy with it, actually. And I do the same, pretty much same thing with her socks or her little stockings there. And the layering is the biggest thing that you can do, or, you know, the best thing that you can do, because you can go back over with that light color and darken it up a little bit without having to use the mid-tone color if you feel like you need a little bit more depth into your paint or your illustration, you know. So I end up using red for her little shoes because I figured, you know, blue and red go together, and for her little bow that is in her hair. And the dog, I actually used just those two brown colors that came in the Copic mixture. And I thought with a little bit of black colored pencil, just to kind of give him a little bit of, you know, make him look a little like hairy. And not just like one little bitty old color, you know. I had to spruce him up a little bit. He looks a little like an Ewok though, don't he? So I got finished with the coloring, and when I did the orange, I noticed that light orange in the Copic would have been much better for her skin tone because it was not as orange as the other that I used. So now I know if I want that pinky fleshy color to use that marker. So when I came to the watercoloring, my first instinct was, let us use Sinatra. Yeah, no, not Sinatra. Santoro's watercolor markers that I have. Those are always my go-to when I color this girl because I love them. However, again, I wanted to press beyond the box. I wanted to go outside the box. So I decided to use my Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. Now, I'm not the best at using the watercolor pencils either. I got these when I was doing doll faces. They help, you know, to do eyes and faces and stuff like that. So that's what I've been using them for. So I was like, I'm going to use them for this. So my first thing was I'm just going to use the colors, like the light colors first, and wet them, activate them. I just barely, you know, I didn't put like, it wasn't hard at all. It was a very light touch that I put on there. And then I used water to help, you know, to disperse the color. And of course you have to let things dry before you can move on to build up. So you have to do it in layers, which was totally different than, of course, the Copic markers. So I'd have to wait until like the dog fur dried and then to put the more depth into him, you know, to make him look more 3D-ish and all that kind of stuff. Now the skin tone was easier to do for her if you want the pinky skin tone. I found this trick out quite a while ago, that you use raw umber and I used rose carmine. Yeah. So if you use raw umber in like a pink color, like a rose quartz or anything like that, you're going to get a pinky flesh tone. If you want the darker flesh tones, then you can do raw umber with a little bit of like maybe just like burnt umber, or not burnt umber, but like the ochre, the darker ochres. And you just have to play around to get the different skin tones. But raw umber seems to be one of the main things that you use to make your flesh tones. So I enjoyed using the colored pencils. Again, they were different, but they weren't too difficult. You just had, like I said, you had to let them dry. And then once it dried, I realized, oh, well, I need to go back and like fix her face. Like I used a red color for her cheeks and for the shadow around her hair and her neck and stuff like that. But then I noticed when it dried, it was almost not, you couldn't see it. So then I went back with a little bit of pink to add to her cheeks and stuff to, make her stand out. So then now it comes to which one do I want to use. So I really liked the Copic one, but again, if her color had not been so orange, I probably would have picked that one because I really did like the way it looked. I actually liked both of them. I could have gone either one, I think, and it would have been just fine. But I ended up going with the watercolor. But the dog, I went with the Copic or the alcohol-based one because I just felt that he looked better than the watercolor one. So that is what I ended up using. So I'm just using my deluxe adhesive to adhere the little panel there, and then I'm going to use foam squares to put the girl and the dog on there to pop them up. And then I'm going to end up using some Nuvo crystal drops and some with glitter in it to make drops all over, because there'll be a space up at the top that's a little bare, and I'm like, oh, it needs something. So I ended up just putting those in there. And then here I'm using just the glitter from Nuvo as well, glue to put little sparkles on the thank you to kind of, just make it pop a little bit. So that's pretty much it. That was the card. I enjoyed making it today. I loved it. I loved playing with some of my new stuff. Again, the colored pencils, I don't do that very often either. The markers and my watercolor pencils. So today was a very good day in my studio. Sorry if I seem a little, but I am extremely tired. Not only did I make a card, but I also painted a welcome sign for her. So I've been quite busy today in my studio, which always makes me happy. And I just am totally wiped out. I've been getting up early, going to the gym with Barry. I'm trying to make a habit out of that, which it is. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now. So, and when I'm talking early, I'm talking like 5:45 in the morning, y'all. Ugh, who does that? Me, apparently. But anyway, all right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you've not already subscribed. And if you have, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. But don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified for every time that I post a video. All right, y'all. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.